Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
Hi guys, it's Adeola. Welcome to my channel. So I want to start off the video by saying congratulations to Jhope. Chicken Noodle Soup has hit #1 on the iTunes charts. Jhope is the second Korean solo artist to ever hold this title after Psy. I want to start this conversation by providing the definitions of appropriation, appreciation, and cultural appropriation.
Appropriation is defined as the action of taking something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. Appreciation is defined as the recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone or something. Cultural appropriation is the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of the customs, practices, ideas, etc. of one people or society by members of another, and typically more dominant people or society.
Now that you have those, let's get started. In the song, Jhope paid homage to the original Chicken Noodle Soup song that inspired him when he was becoming a dancer. The song is very near and dear to him, so he wanted to honor it in this remake. The original song was by Webstar, Young B, and featured AG. Young B, who now goes by Bianca Bonnie, thanked ARMY on Instagram for making the hashtag #ThankYouBianca trend #1 on Twitter. She also talked about her royalties check and how happy she was about that. Webstar also said something about the remake.
I just want to thank y'all for making me trending #1 top 2, and I'm not 2. So I just been laying in the bed all morning, you know, watching social media, everybody talking about the Becky G and BTS remake of Chicken Noodle Soup. And I just want to shout out BTS and Becky G because I'm trending worldwide #3 right now. Thank you, Bianca's the hashtag. So yeah, the remake is dope to me. You know, Chicken Noodle Soup been out like almost 15 years now. And it's just really dope to me that, you know, this new generation could even still tap in tune to it. So like, I think it's amazing.
Yo, shout out to everybody who been hitting me about the Chicken Noodle Soup remake. Them kids did an amazing job. They doing the right thing.
Hobi wanted to honor the significance of the song in his life, and he did that through the song itself and the video. The remake and the video were well executed and generally inclusive. Having Hobi singing in Korean, Becky G singing in Spanish and English, and also the dance crew, which had people from all different kinds of backgrounds, they did a very good job of making sure everybody was represented in the presentation of the song. What did not sit well with many was Jhope's hair. Hobi's hair was parted into chunks and twisted into gel twists. When fans saw photos of Hobi's hair before the song's released, they sent emails to Big Hit as the hair did look like locks, and they also made posts on Weaver's Trend to try and communicate to Hobi that his hair was not okay, as it appeared to be appropriation of a black hairstyle as it seemed to mimic locks. If you don't know what locks are, they're dreadlocks. I will be referring to dreadlocks as locks throughout this video. Many did not understand the criticism over Hobi's hair and deemed it as overreactive and unnecessary. A lot of people said, it's just hair, stop complaining, right? When it comes to black hairstyles and appropriation, most non-black people do not understand the history nor know the modern context and why this is a significant issue. So I'm going to try and quickly explain it to you now. Black people have been discriminated against for their natural hairstyles for centuries. Even today, as a black person, having hairstyles such as cornrows, locks, braids, and twists will get you fired from your job, kicked out of school, called dirty, unprofessional, targeted by police, and more. Many people have debated over origin stories of these hairstyles, which don't matter regardless, as black culture in America has encompassed and become synonymous with these hairstyles for centuries. Black people not only use these styles to protect and manage their hair due to its texture, but those such as locks naturally occur. For example, if you leave black hair that is tightly coiled, washed, but unbrushed, the hair will naturally lock up in sections and the lock hairstyle will be formed. You cannot say the same for straight hair. It just doesn't happen. Black hair is also deeply ingrained in black identity. I'm trying to make sure this video doesn't run too long, so I'm not gonna go deep into it. But if you still have any concerns, you can leave a comment about that below. Jhope's use of twists in the video and seemingly on the album art, which any black person would say looked like locks coming out of that mouse's head, was problematic as it was obviously fetishization of hip-hop culture. Hip-hop, if you did not know, was undoubtedly created by black people. And this was a remake of a black song. And the BTS boys never use hairstyles likening to black ones except for their hip-hop songs. This makes it obvious that Jhope was appropriating black aesthetic, taking this hairstyle that black people are discriminated against for having themselves, and used it as a costume to fit this hip-hop stage. This is not a new problem. K-pop idols do it all the time. They're going for a certain look, so they copy black hairstyles like braids, locks, twists, and cornrows because they're heavily associated with hip-hop. It's disrespectful and unnecessary to use a stereotypical factor, something that is used against the creator themselves for your own performative purposes. Your privilege will lead for you to be praised for what they are shunned for. It disregards the severity and struggles that come with having these natural and necessary hairstyles as a black person. Even though Hobi meant for this to be appreciative, he dropped the ball. That hair wasn't it. He could have done the whole video without those wannabe locks and it would have been perfect. That album cover could have easily been different too. And considering he himself spoke about being heavily involved in the small aspects of production, including the album art, please do not try to deflect and say that he had no say in his hairstyle. What I really found disheartening is that this isn't the first time BTS members have been called out for appropriating black hairstyles and other aspects of black culture. With so many instances of issues and apologies on their part, I don't understand why we're having this issue again. They have been told not to do this, but they still continue to do it. I really thought we were past the stage of appropriating black hairstyles for the sake of a hip-hop stage. I don't know how to receive this. Are complaints falling on deaf ears? Or do they simply not understand? I don't get it. It's disappointing and saddening. We expect better. It's really not that hard. As for those of you saying Namjoon did the same hairstyle for Mic Drop, I realize most of you are not black and know absolutely nothing about black hairstyles nor can see well. So I will try my best to educate you. Namjoon's hair in the Mic Drop music video was simply over-gelled to the point where it clumped together, looking wiry and stiff freely across his head. There was no problem with this. It did not resemble locks at all. Over-gelled hair was trending in the 90s and the 2000s actually, and I assumed that was the look they were going for. Regardless, it did not look like a black hairstyle, so there was no problem. On the contrary, Hobi's hair was parted into chunks and individually twisted, which you can clearly see. For those of you saying that it's just hair and that it's part of the appreciation still, let me try and put it into perspective for you. Imagine I grew up being inspired by Native American music and culture. Mind you, I am not Native American at all. So I decided to copy a native dance and wear a native headpiece during my performance. But the natives told me not to wear a headpiece. At that point, me wearing the headpiece is not appreciation. I'm literally going against their direct instruction, which is straight up disrespectful. I don't get to tell them what appreciation of their culture is. They tell me. I hope that example helped those of you that are having trouble seeing Hobi's hair as an issue, because that is how we see it from a black person's perspective. For the people that are saying black people calling out Jhope's twist are hypocrites because we use weave, straighten our hair, and dye it, number one, when our natural hair and natural hairstyles are deemed unacceptable, what other choice are we left with? If you go to work with an afro, there is a high chance you will get fired. If you go to work with braids, people have been fired before. It has made the news. This is not a new issue. This is something widespread. People will make comments. They will try to touch your hair like you were a dog. We face mass discrimination and it is systemic for having these natural hairstyles. So what do you expect people to do? We have to be accepted into this society because we have no choice. So yes, we will use hair that might look like Western hair types because our own hair is not accepted. Number two, there isn't an entire race getting systemically discriminated against for having straight hair or particularly colored hair. On the contrary, There is an entire race being discriminated against for having styles such as twists, braids, locks, cornrows, etc. So you cannot equate someone wearing weave or dyeing their hair to someone that is not black wearing these hairstyles. Number 3, no one invented straight hair or certain types of colored hair, nor certain types of curled hair. People love to play the blonde hair card. Newsflash, blonde hair naturally occurs in black people. People that bring up these points truly do not understand the discrimination black people receive over their hair and how it in no way equates to straightening, dyeing your hair, nor using artificial hair. We all have brains, so please let's use them. I know common sense isn't common, but come on guys. If black people being discriminated against for their natural hairstyles weren't such an issue, California wouldn't have made a whole law against it. Also, for people that say like in K-beauty, Korean food, K-pop, and speaking Korean is appropriation, I'm not sure if you are aware, but right now, Korea's recognition in the world is quickly increasing as a result of K-pop and K-beauty, which they call soft power. Korea is proud of their culture being spread, and they are working very hard to do so. The Korean wave is something being actively pushed by Koreans themselves because they want us to partake in their culture. So please, have a seat. Also, if you still see no problem with Hobi's hair, I'm going to need you guys to uncancel Jackson Wang and JB of GOT7 because they had the exact same twist as Jhope and the army dragged them and canceled them to eternity. But for Hobi's hair, it was quiet. So, either you stop the double standard nonsense or stream Bullet to the Heart Jackson Wang's new song #TeamWang. It's your choice. You cannot be condemning some people for something and praising others and letting it slide by just because they're in BTS. So army, get yourselves together because you're disgracing all of us right now. I hope this video better helped you understand appropriation and why people were upset over Jhope's hair. Most black people wouldn't mind sharing our hairstyles, but we will only be okay with it when we get treated the same way for wearing our own hairstyles as other people. It's unfair and it's making our lives harder, so I hope you understand the upset. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Hope you liked it. Drop a like for me if you did, and make sure to hit subscribe because I make videos about BTS all the time and you do not want to miss it. I will see you guys later. Bye!
Huh? Come on.